Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Getting a little colder here, but it's a winter, so, fuck me, right? A lot of the talk that I've been having with these think pieces is about video games, but I don't even consider myself much of a gamer anymore. And that's unfortunate, I know, because I love video games and everything about them. I love, even the personnel who create video games. I love getting myself immersed in this culture. In fact, the whole reason I got into video games, aside from my early introduction and experience of those video games, as I said in previous videos, I've been playing for my entire life, quite literally. But I don't play video games anymore. Not as much as I used to, at least. And I'm not sure what the reason is, but I feel like one of the issues with me is that I've become too cynical. And being cynical is a real problem. I've been having a lot of issues with video games recently. There's not been that many that I've felt inspired to play. Now, whether that's a failing on my part or the part of the developer, I'm not sure. I don't particularly blame the developers, and I'm hoping that they don't blame me, but that's just how the cookie crumbles in this situation. I have not really played a lot of video games, even though I have bought a lot, and it's really starting to, show and make me think about my budget and being like, is this really a necessary purchase? Is this really something that I should be doing? Should I be buying video games if I'm not going to complete them? And I don't have an answer to that. I would love to tell you that, sensibilities have taken over me and I'm able to be like, well, if I'm spending this money and not, spending it wisely, I'm going to stop spending it. But that's not how my brain works. I'm still going to go out there, I'm going to buy the video games that I think look cool, never going to fucking play them, and that's a problem, but that's a problem that I obviously don't care enough to change because I'm not going to. What I am going to try and change, however, is I'm going to try and rekindle and reignite that love that I have for video games. And if I can reignite that passion that I have, hopefully, then I can, really get into some of these other video games that I've been seeing. But the way that I thought best to go into this was to go back to those series when I fell in love with video games. To go back and play those nostalgic video games and see, one, if they hold up, and two, just re-experience and remember what it means to be a gamer to me. Now, this is something that no one else might have an issue with. Like, no one else might want to revisit those games of their past. And in fact, full disclosure, I don't like playing a video game more than once. Same with movies, same with books. I rarely ever re-experience a piece of media more than once. I never go back. Of course, there are exceptions, but as the old saying goes, exceptions that prove the rule. So, I've watched Mortal Kombat countless times. I've played Crash Bandicoot 3 countless times. But for the most part, once I finish something, it's done. I don't need to go back. Ever. I mean, I will be happy to listen to some of the music from that game or revisit cutscenes if I ever want to show off a particularly cool moment to some of my friends. But apart from that, it's going straight on the shelf. There is no need to even take a look at that. With these nostalgic games, I'm going to make an exception. I'm going to go back and I'm going to try... I've made myself a list. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to make this series going forward, this nostalgic series, but I've made myself this list, and it was every single video game I could remember playing up until a certain age. And once I reach that point, it's like a cutoff, and I'm not going to do anything after that. Now, I feel like in the future I'll be sitting here and be like, oh man, I remember when fucking Final Fantasy 15 just came out, and I'm gonna go revisit that because it's been 20 years. Fuck, that's gonna be an interesting conversation to have. But for the most part, I don't see myself revisiting any modern games that I've played recently. So this will just be the exception. And if I've already played something and I might never make another video about it. I'll probably never make a video about a couple of the games that I really love just because I don't want to go back and get footage for them. I don't want to do that. So this is going to be different. Anyway, so my plan with this nostalgic series is that I would give a little bit of information about myself and my experience with that game originally, and then, you know, try and give some thoughts about what I've, you know, found replaying it. Whether or not I finish these games, I'm not sure, but I want to rekindle that love. I want to rekindle that love that I have for video games, and I definitely, going forward, I might want to finish a couple of those nostalgia games. I'm going to do my best to finish at least one or two, just to get into the habit of, like, you start a game, you finish a game, no matter what. And I'm going to try and do that, because even though, as I've said before, I have the full expectation to finish every single game that I've ever played. There is no back burner, there is no thing that goes on a shelf and will never ever be touched again. Is there anything that I should be looking for that is a common thread between all of my tastes and likes, aside from story elements? Is there anything that I should be on the lookout in the future and be like, I know that if I play this through to its entirety, that I will have a good time? But anyway, guys, thank you for listening to this one. It's just been a small little announcement video for something that I plan, and hopefully by seeing this video up here, it will constantly provide me with that push that I need to continue with my nostalgic series. Because I don't want to just say this and then have nothing come of it. So I feel like by uploading this will make me really get my butt into gear. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to this, and I'll catch you guys later.